6 beats started under the city. Exactly 6 repeated notes. 3 months had passed since the first tremors shook Paris. Independent researchers hid acoustic sensors in forgotten tunnels. They pulled a new signal from buried recordings overnight. It wasn't another hum. It was a pulse. Equal spacing, equal intensity, a clear repeating sequence. The machine beneath Paris had changed its behavior. They replayed the tracks to rule out errors. There was no interference or artifact in the waveform. Timing did not match any known industrial source. The signal suggested pattern and intention, not random noise. They triangulated rough coordinates under old sewer junctions. Maps showed collapsed brick layers above a sealed cavity. A note on an archived plan read simply, "Room sealed." Volunteers and academics gathered at a small lab. They streamed the pulse live to attract more ears. The audio spread fast across forums and message boards. Old urban legends found new listeners instantly. Some reported mechanical ticking beneath the tones. Others claimed language. Phones vibrated as people replayed the strange beat. The pattern shifted over weeks, a fractional change each cycle. The signal evolved slowly, showing deliberate adjustments, not decay. Now the question was blunt and urgent. What is the machine making? Who listens back? 2 researchers vanished in January. They were studying the sealed red zone. Their labs were left exactly as they'd been. Computers were still on, audio files open. A spectrogram glowed on one screen. Their last emails stayed as unsent drafts. One draft read, "It's responding to us." Another draft said, "There's movement behind the wall." Police found no signs of a struggle. There were no overturned chairs or broken glass. Only a set of footprints led toward the forbidden tunnel. Footprints faced the tunnel mouth, then stopped. No prints ever returned, not a single one. Security cameras died pointing at the entrance. Their badges remained on the desks. Personal mugs still filled with cold coffee. The station timer froze at 2:13 a.m. Neighbors heard nothing unusual that night. The drafts hinted at curiosity turned alarm. "It's learning," one note said. Teams scanned the tunnel for weeks. They found layered markings on the wall. Scientists' voices appear on old recordings. Sometimes a whisper says, "Don't follow." The official report lists no closure. The case remains open and cold. People still stand near the red zone. They stare at that dark tunnel. Nobody walks into it anymore, and a spectrogram hums on its screen. Some nights, you can hear static. Then the recording plays 3 seconds. A voice whispers, "We saw behind." And that is where every file ends. One wall looked different overnight, seriously different. We had mapped that limestone last month. Tremors did something we didn't expect. A fresh carving appeared where smooth stone stayed. Same symbol, same circle with a line. But now it was split by another cut. A second vertical cut down the middle. It wasn't neat. It looked raw. Edges were sharp. Fresh dust clung. No tool marks matched our old records. The cut felt intentional, like a change. We traced lines with gloved fingers. Under light, the split made the circle talk. Mathematically, it was a progression, not random. Someone altered the symbol on purpose. Maybe centuries later, maybe last night. Beneath the new slash, letters were scratched. They were imperfect, hand-done, hurried. One phrase kept repeating under our breath. "It opened," was scratched beneath the symbol. We all froze for a few long seconds. No one joked. No one smiled. Phones went quiet. Radio chatter stopped. We photographed everything. Every angle. Every cut. Back at camp, theories grew fast. Others spoke about rituals and signs. I kept thinking about progression, about change. Symbols evolve when people need new meaning. But this felt like a message left behind. Not for archaeologists, but for someone else. It opened. That's what the stone said. We couldn't prove anything. Not yet. So we marked coordinates and waited. Because when a wall changes, your life changes. 4 centimeters is how far the door moved. LiDAR scans from the sealed chamber show it. Since 2022, the outline shifted. Nobody expected stone to do that. Stone does not move by itself, usually. It didn't move symmetrically or in silence. The outline slipped 4 centimeters inward. The seal still looked perfect on camera. Dust lay undisturbed across floor. No tracks, no tools, and no one inside. The chamber stayed locked the whole time. Yet the door moved, measured by machines. That changes how we think about it. Maybe it isn't stone at all. Maybe it's an engineered material or something else. Dense, cold, and oddly precise in composition. Or maybe it's something that behaves alive. We ran tests with different scanners and parameters. Repeated scans gave the same result every time. Sensors agreed within sub-millimeter precision limits. No thermal shift. No electromagnetic spike recorded. The readings left little room for error. The team argued for months over next steps. Some wanted demolition. Others demanded more data. We logged every frame and timestamped everything. Cameras, thermal arrays, vibration sensors, all watching. At night, monitors blinked green. Then, the change. It moved again. Slight, measured, possibly deliberate. We still don't know if it's intentional. But science follows data, not comfort. So we keep watching, logging every micro-movement. The door's 4 centimeter secret is the main puzzle. The answers will be stranger than expected. A heartbeat hid in a 1990 police tape. Sound engineers listened for hours to it. They found a metallic rhythm under the noise. It matched a human heartbeat, but slowed down by 20 times. When they sped it up, a pattern emerged. It was 3 beats, then a pause. 3 beats. The same pattern showed up in 2022. People on the team went quiet. They checked gear and angles twice. They found nothing that explained the match. Then someone ran the timing numbers. The pulse repeated every few seconds. 3 beats, pause, 3 beats repeated through the whole clip repeatedly. That meant a signature survived decades. Some blamed tape damage or quirks. Others thought someone left a marker. Either way, 2 tapes matched perfectly. Engineers called that statistically unlikely. This wasn't random background noise or static. Instead, it sounded like a coded beat. Same rhythm and timing, decades apart. Whatever made it wanted to be noticed. That discovery changed how we looked at the tapes. They compared waveforms across recordings and nights. Every test confirmed the same pulse signature. Questions multiplied while answers stayed rare. That's what the engineers decoded from 1990. This maze follows exact mathematical rules. Researchers compared old maps with new scans. They stitched data together like puzzle pieces. The result revealed forbidden corridors laid out precisely. Those corridors form a perfect spiral. It descends clockwise, consistent across every level. Every chamber sits at mathematically exact angles. These angles are precise, not approximate or accidental. Turns align with pre-Roman solar geometry. Sun paths, solstice points, and horizon markers match. That level of planning implies expert surveyors. They weren't just digging tunnels for storage. Every turn, chamber, and corridor had purpose. This wasn't growth over time. It was intent. Someone designed this from the start. Maybe it mapped stars and marked ritual dates. Or maybe both. layered together on purpose. We can see the fingerprints of scheduling. Builders timed passages to match solar events. Light would enter exact chambers at certain days. That needs precise angles and careful math. The labyrinth wasn't expanded over centuries. It was drafted, measured, and executed. A single design laid the whole plan. Thinking like that changes how we see it. This is architecture, astronomy, and ceremony combined. And it forces a harder question. Who drew the lines? Who taught the angles? Their knowledge reached back before Roman rule, and they built a puzzle that still confuses us. One stone remembers sound, literally. Scientists found it decades ago near basalt fields. At first, they thought it was just rock. Then, someone clapped near it. The fragment glowed, faint and weird. Lab tests changed how we thought. Under microscopes, they found tiny chambers, hollow channels lined up like tuning forks. They vibrate together when sound hits them. The stone acts like circuitry, not just mineral. It stores the pattern of sound as vibration. Play a tone and it replies in light. The glow isn't random or chemical. It maps frequency into tiny flashes. Think tiny circuits rewired by sound waves. So what built this thing? No one knows for sure yet. Some think ancient engineers made it. Others think slow natural processes did. Either way, it actually listens. Rocks as recorders, and even as memory. Imagine a landscape that remembers footsteps. Imagine storms that leave a trace. Most scientists remain understandably cautious. They want repeat tests and clear mechanisms. This is not magical thinking. It's physics we haven't mapped yet. If we decode its language, possibilities follow. Long-term sound archives in stone. New sensors borrowed from the stone itself. Maybe a way to record without batteries. And a reminder, nature still surprises us. This basalt fragment proves silence isn't empty. It holds echoes inside its bones. We just need to learn to listen. This tunnel answers before you speak. Explorers call it the tunnel of mirrors. You hear whispers coming from ahead. The whispers echo forward, not backward. Footsteps return before you move. Voices come back deeper than they started. It feels like the ground disagrees with you. Scientists call it an acoustic anomaly. Engineers map strange sound wave paths. The walls seem coated with bending material. That material directs noise toward the center. The center acts like a hungry receiver. Explorers say the space gives answers, not explanations or comfort, just a cold response. You notice your own voice sounding older. It returns as a deeper, slower copy. Old memories come back with altered tones. The place rearranges time in small ways. That little delay makes people nervous quickly. Some explorers left notes on the wall. The notes warn future visitors to wait. Wait first, then step, then speak slowly. One team recorded a reply. The reply contained voices from decades earlier. Those voices answered questions no one asked. Engineers worry the chamber stores sound signatures. Maybe it keeps pieces of everyone who passed. That unsettling idea scares people very quickly. A lost roll of film surfaced. It came from the year 1941. A private collector found it quietly. Most images were blurred or damaged. One frame stayed oddly clear. It shows a massive, circular device, like a wheel set into stone. It has 8 spokes pointing outward. Engineers photographed it with care. German engineers, in 1941, to be exact. Their captions are missing or unreadable. Did they understand it? Nobody says. Maybe they tried to turn it on. Maybe they failed. Maybe they stopped. Or they kept it locked by choice. Either way, the work ended suddenly. Files disappeared. Projects went quiet. Historians argue over motive and danger. Was it a weapon were power gear. Technical notes mention strange metals and geometry. No clear purpose jumps out. That silence feels deliberate and heavy. Imagine engineers told to stop work. Maybe orders came from above. Maybe fear made them walk away. The collector let experts study it privately. Their reports add questions, not answers. One blurred frame became a cold question. 8 spokes, and so much silence. What would you do with that knowledge? It still hums in imagination. You feel the weight of unanswered choices. Hundreds heard voices under their feet. It happened in February 2024. A metro platform froze mid-step. Security cameras captured the moment. People stopped and looked down. You can see mouths open, but no speech. Commuters stood like statues on the platform. They listened and some whispered to neighbors. At first, everyone assumed prank or song. Audio teams ran tests the next day. The recordings failed human voice markers. Instead, scientists found clear harmonic patterns. High overtones rode on deep bass frequencies. Those were machine tones, not people. Rotation inside the tunnels created standing waves. The concrete acted like a giant speaker. Low-frequency hums produced audible harmonic layers. Together they formed the eerie chorus. Engineers traced the source to a bearing. A misaligned rotor hit a resonant cavity. Every train amplified the effect. Commuters never heard voices again. But the footage lived on the web. People argued about ghosts and aliens. Acoustic science closed the ghost story. Still, for that minute, the tunnel spoke. City crews fixed the rotor within weeks. They tuned bearings and dampened the cavity. Normal noise returned to the tunnels. But the clip flooded social feeds worldwide. It made people ask what else hums. Machines are louder than we admit. Listen closer next time you're underground. A 1901 letter changed the story. It came from architect Émile Deschamps. He wrote that he'd been paid. He was paid to falsify blueprints. Blueprints for a lower level beneath Paris. He put lower level in quotes. He wrote 2 lines like that. They said it was older than France. My task was to hide the truth. Those were his exact words. He mailed the confession late one night. He signed it with a shaky hand. He mailed it to an editor. He wanted the truth out, but he died a week later. They said it was natural. Friends refused to talk about it. His colleagues mostly looked away. The city moved on quickly, but the letter sat in an archive. It sat in cold boxes for decades. Read now. It feels like a warning. Or maybe a quiet apology. Maybe both are true here. Why lie about a map? Money was the short answer, and his reputation was at risk. Maybe fear played a role. Someone wanted that lower level forgotten, or deliberately buried and erased. If he was paid, others were involved. That points to an organized system. Hidden corridors, hidden rooms, hidden reasons. We still have the letter. We still have the question. Who paid him and why? Who decided to hide Paris beneath Paris? 4 dates reveal a terrifying pattern. Years compared: 1782, 1990, 2022, and 2024. Scientists compared resonance frequencies across them. They expected only random background noise. Instead, they found a repeating signal. The machine grows louder when Earth's magnetic field weakens. It amplifies quickly and predictably, not randomly. It spikes during geomagnetic drops. It spikes during big solar storms. It spikes before major seismic anomalies. Every time, the Labyrinth responds. Every time, instrument readings jump sharply. Skeptics checked the data again. Control tests matched the original results. Instruments were verified and clean. No human error showed up. Across all dates, the pattern held steady. That means something is watching. That means it is not dormant. It is actively monitoring conditions. and its timing is precise. When magnetic flux drops, frequency rises. The worse the drop, the louder the machine. Researchers call it a clear correlation. They also call it alarming. Now imagine a major solar event or a sudden geomagnetic collapse. The machine would scream on the charts, and not in a quiet way. Authorities and emergency teams need to know. Scientists need to track it in real time. This is not speculation anymore. The machine's purpose is becoming clear. 0.02 degrees changed our whole plan. We trusted our eyes, then instruments disagreed. The metal had no visible movement. Heat shouldn't appear without friction. So we asked a blunt question. What if it's moving where we can't see? That idea felt ridiculous at first, but ridiculous explained the data better. We tuned instruments to other ranges. Signals came back like a held breath. Tiny pulsed waves arrived in a pattern. The machine wasn't broken, it simply hid. It conserves energy and avoids wasted heat. Heat shows only when pulses align. And when pulses align, behavior becomes obvious. We got excited, then quietly scared. This isn't a toy, nor just a relic. Something deliberate hid inside the old math. We had to ask why it moved unseen. Maybe it's a method of communication or maintenance. Maybe it's practicing, warming long dormant joints, or it could be waiting for a trigger. Either thought makes the room heavier. You feel small next to patient metal. Years pass for us, and we learn. Small warmth equals motion. 6 explorers found a tunnel that moved. They said the walls felt warm to touch. The floor vibrated under their boots. At the end, a spiral carving glowed faintly. It brightened when anyone stepped too close. They mapped the corridor and took photos. Then they left and came back days later. When they returned, the passage was gone and stone filled it. No collapse signs showed, and no tools remained. The spiral carving was missing entirely. One man kept a paper rubbing of the spiral. He swore the grooves matched his paper exactly. They argued about memory, maps, and error. Some thought it was a trick of light. Others whispered the passage moved by itself. Scientists came with gear and precise tools. They found nothing that could explain it. Locals left small offerings by sealed walls. Tourists took videos and tagged the place. Maps gained crossed lines and new warnings. People kept going back. Hope won over fear. They wanted to see the spiral again. They wanted one clear proof to hold, but the passage kept changing without pattern. That was the only rule they learned. Watch the walls, wait, and bring paper. Then maybe you'll catch it shifting. One rotation every 14 months. It sits deep under Paris streets, bigger than any cathedral I've seen. Scans now finally show a slow movement. You won't feel it up here. One full turn in 14 months. So slow you can forget it's moving. But it is aiming somewhere important. This isn't random or idle motion. The city above never knew. Subways keep rattling like nothing changed. But underfoot, those gears keep creeping. People worry while scientists argue and politicians promise. No one can say why it turns. Some think it's a machine. Others say it's older than Rome. One team found a pattern in the spin. The pattern matches old maps. Lines point under monuments and closed wells, like it's turning toward specific places, toward things someone marked long ago. We asked the wheel one question. Why move at all after centuries of silence? Only this slow, patient rotation. It's like someone is setting a clock. And we are the audience now. We watch, we listen, and we wait. Because whatever it points to will matter. This changes how we think about history. Plans will change, and warnings will sound. Some want to stop it, others want to follow. Me? I can't stop staring. Because beneath our seat, Paris keeps turning. They found a new carving last month. It used the same circle symbol. Now, the circle is split by 3 vertical lines. Beneath it, fresh Latin words were carved. They read the words, Orbis Reddit. Translation: the phrase reads, "The cycle returns." This marking showed up in 2024. People on the forum spotted it first. A few photos circulated by morning. Nobody expected the symbol to reappear. Old researchers got quiet after that. They remembered the other carved warnings. Those earlier marks led to strange events. Lights went out for whole neighborhoods then. Flood reports followed in 2 countries. No clear cause was ever proven. So this new carving feels urgent. It's not spooky or mystical. Treat it as practical. Someone wants a message delivered plainly. Or it's a trap. It could be. We can't assume intent here. Start with facts, then track patterns. Check dates, locations, and witnesses. Compare handwriting and tool marks. Ask who benefits from panic. Ask who benefits from silence. Record everything on video and leave timestamps. Share with local heritage groups immediately. If you live nearby, take notes. If you find another mark, don't touch it. Call authorities, share photos, and stay calm. This circle is not innocent. It wants you to notice. One machine waited under Paris for a century. People walk above. None notice. It woke this morning, soft at first. A low hum threaded through subway tracks. Benches vibrated. Coffee spilled in slow arcs. Sensors in labs lit up red. Reports stacked on a table grew colder. No explosion, no grand reveal. Instead, gears sighed and shifted. Tunnels started to slide like living maps. Routes reattached themselves. Old ways closed. New corridors opened toward a single room. The maps called it the Hidden Archives. Scientists argued about purpose and age. Some wanted to label it weapon. Others called it vault or library. The real answer made both quiet. This thing was built to wait, not to break barriers. To watch time, to learn how cities forget. Its clocks were patience, not power. It kept records of small human habits. A cough, a laugh, a missed train, collected like leaves in a collector's book. Now it decides what to return. You can feel that choice nearby. Peace is not coming by accident. The machine will reveal what it kept, and Paris will remember differently after. No one knows what it will demand.